Good morning. Welcome to day 9 of our Wim Hof style breathing and yoga fusion. We are going to do 3 rounds of breath together, and then we're moving on to a Vinyasa slow flow. So we won't put too many new moves in there that we haven't learned yet. We'll do the things that we've done, sun salutation A and B, but we're going to hold each asana slightly longer. We're going to flow slower into each move, and that's going to take a lot of strength. So this is going to be it's really going to fire up the muscles, and it will really get into your core, because as we flow into each thing, it's really going to work that core. So if you like the video, like it, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and I will see you at the end. Don't forget to let me know how you get on. Right, let's get into it. So in our final breath hold of 1 minute, I'm going to give you some options. You can either put feet up the wall or just straight up in the air like this for an inversion, or you can do a shoulder stand with me. So bringing the weight onto the shoulders, don't turn the head, keep the head and neck in line. Put the hands in the base of the back to support the legs, and we'll just hold that with the breath out for 1 minute. Inversions are really good, so I thought it'd be quite nice to start this practice with one, just to really get the blood flowing. Okay, come seated or lying down on your mat, breathing in through the nose or the mouth. Let's start round 1. 30 big breaths, in and out. Breathing in through the belly, the chest, the head, letting go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. In and out. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Keep going. Find your own pace if you want to. You don't have to breathe at my pace. Everyone has different size lungs. So as long as it's around 30 breaths, you may do more, you may do a few less. Because this is our warm-up for exercise. I also do a 20-minute Wim Hof method practice myself in the morning before I get out of bed, which is what Wim Hof recommends, is about 20 minutes a day of this breathing exercise. In and out. Make sure the breath is circular, so there's no gap at the top or the bottom. You're either breathing in to 100% of your capacity, or just letting the air passively out. 10 more. As ever, let's make these last 10 really big. And if you're getting any sensations in the body, really set the intention of making those more, magnifying them, making them more intense. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. This is our last one. In, all this breath out, and we're just going to close down the eyes and hold the breath together for 1 minute. I will cue those of you that like to take a longer breath hold. I'll cue you up at 10 seconds as usual, and you can pause the video. And if anyone needs to take a breath before, because this is a breath out, breath hold, it takes some getting used to, then you can do that at your leisure. Just take your recovery breath and rejoin with the video when you can. Okay, so during these breath holds, really focus on the sensation in the body. Any tingling, lightheadedness, it's all good, it means it's working. 10 more seconds if you'd like to pause the video. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in and hold it. Force up through the root lock, stomach lock, throat lock. Force this air into the head. Push it upwards. Keep going. Force this air up, tensing all the muscles all the way up into the brain. And release. Beautiful. We'll get straight on to round 2. 30 big breaths in and out. In and out. This will be a 1.5 minute breath hold at the end of this round. And next week, starting on tomorrow's practice, we'll start doing 1.5 and then a 2 minute, and then a 1.5 minute doing an asana. So we increase our practice. Keep going, in and out. Breathing into the mouth or the nose, doesn't matter. But if you do ever feel panicky or anxiety during the breathing, and you're breathing through your mouth, you may find it easier to breathe through your nose, as you'll have less anxiety. Okay, keep going. We're hyper-oxygenating the blood, creating more oxygen than the body needs. 10 more to go. So we are creating a more alkalized body. And we have currently, because of all the tingling, that's because you're not getting the gas exchange. 5 more breaths between carbon dioxide and oxygen, because we've blown off all of the carbon dioxide. And that's all good. Last one. In and out. And then really, this is 1.5 minutes of your time. So close down those eyes. Let's scan through the body. Feel into the feet. What sensations can you feel? Any pins and needles or tingling in the feet? To the ankles. Imagine you're inside your body looking outwards. Go up into the knees. And the thighs and the hips. See the root chakra, red, glowing orb in the base of your spine, and then up into the navel chakra, the orange chakra, circling, firing up the belly and your intuition, and then up into, we've done 1 minute, solar plexus chakra, see a circling yellow orb, then into your heart chakra, green, and then to your throat chakra, blue, up into your third eye, indigo orb, circling, and then just at the top of your head, your crown chakra, violet light. 4 more, 3, 2, 1, big breath in, hold it, force the breath upwards, squeezing, pushing, really pushing this air upwards now into the brain, decalcifying the pineal gland, stimulating the pituitary. We're really getting the body into hormetic stress, but it's also firing up a hormonal response and release. Beautiful. We've one more round together. This is round 3. Let's go. 30 big breaths in and out, in and out. In and out. Any sensations you're feeling, start to intensify them. Really send the oxygen to those areas. Imagine you are directly influencing now all areas of your body, becoming the master of your autonomic nervous system, your immune system, your endocrine system, your cardiothoracics, all of those areas of your body you are now taking control of. Breathing in and out. In and out. Keep focusing on the breath. In and out. See it. 10 more. See the breath, visualize it, fill in the lungs, watch them pushing the diaphragm open into the belly, the chest, the head. Visualize internally what's occurring with this air flooding in waves into the body. It's an active meditation. 2 more. Okay, this is our last one. Big breath in, and if you're going to join me in a shoulder stand, we're going to roll onto our backs now. And you can either keep the feet upwards or up the wall for an inversion, or rock onto those shoulders, close down the eyes, use your hands to support the back, don't turn the head. And this beautiful inversion, if you ever get jet lag or you've traveled time zones, chance to be a fine thing at the moment, this will help any discombobulation you're feeling and reset you. This will sort your digestion out. It sorts out headaches. It's a great way of curing insomnia. 10 minutes of this, sounds like a long time, maybe 5 minutes of this every night before you go to bed, you'll find you start to get a better, deeper sleep. It also moves your lymphatic drainage system. It's a beautiful, gentle inversion. It's definitely worth giving it a try. Okay, just come up to sitting, take your in-breath. Last one, so force it all upwards, push the breath, hold the breath in, forcing and tensing the muscles all the way into the brain. Keep going, you're doing super, super well. And release. Okay, just fall down onto the back now. And just take some recovery breaths in and out through the nose. I'm joined for this voiceover by Macy and the dog, who will be doing some accompanying noises. Can only apologise. Blame Boris. Okay, so just take recovery breaths in and out through the nose. Then we're going to rock up to sitting. We're going to rock up once. Back onto the shoulders. Rock up twice. Rock up 3 times. And if you can, come up to standing. Okay, join me at the front of your mat. Breathe in, raise the hands up high. Breathe out. Lean over to your right, taking the left arm high. Getting a stretch in the left-hand side of the body. Breathe in back to centre. And then lean over the other way, getting a stretch in the right-hand side of the body. Make sure you're not folding forward or leaning back. So the stretch is in the lateral side of the body. And then we're taking a twist. So take the right arm forward, the left arm back, looking over the left shoulder. Bumping the hips to the front of the room. Change sides, right arm forward, left arm back, looking over the right shoulder. Breathe into centre. Cactus those arms, breathe out. Breathe in, cactus those arms, breathe out. So we take a back bend in the cactus and then take a tree pose. So right knee, right foot to the thigh or the ankle or just above the knee, but remember, don't put the tree pose on the knee. Raise the hands high when you're comfortable and just find somewhere to gaze out straight ahead. Macy. So holding this tree pose, it's very, very good for the core. And then we'll take staff pose. So if you can, keep the leg straight out the front and hands to your hips. If you can't, you can keep your knee bent. And bring it back to the floor. Take tree pose on the other leg. So this time the left leg comes into the thigh. And if you can't manage this, you can bring it to the ankle, just above the knee. And then raise the hands high when you're comfortable. If not, you can keep them at heart centre. So with tree pose, you find something to focus on in the room. And the balance it takes will really strengthen your core. Pull up through the glutes, knit in the ribs. And then back to that staff pose. So leg straight out if you can manage it. Hands on the hips, keeping the hips square. So don't tilt backwards. The back is nice and straight. Okay, bring both feet to the mat. And then let's start to flow. So come to chair. Breathe in. Stand. Breathe in. Chair. Breathe out. Balanced chair. So onto your toes. Make sure you're still sitting down into the bottom. Breathe in, chair. Breathe out, come to standing. Let's take sun salutation A. Breathe in, raise the hands high. Breathe out very, very slowly. Swan dive down to a forward fold. And remember, this is a slow flow. So we will take more breaths. Come to a flat back. Hold it. We will need more breaths than we'd usually take. Bring the hands to the floor and step back to plank. Hold it. Make sure the hands are underneath the shoulders, keeping a nice straight line in the body. And bring the knees to the floor. Tilt forward on those and brushing the elbows to the ribs, slowly lower to the floor. So don't forget, you can take more breaths than we'd usually take. Come up to a cobra, pushing up, hands underneath the shoulders, making sure the shoulders are working. Take the head back if there's no pain in the neck. And breathe. Turn the toes under, and then step back into your downward dog. As ever, just find some movement in this first downward dog, bending and straightening the knees, one after the other, walking out your dog. Come onto your toes and take the heels to the right. Even weight through the hands, so we're getting a stretch in the left hand side of the body. And keep breathing. Come back to the toes, take the heels over to the left, even weight for those hands, so we're getting a stretch down the right hand side of the body. Remember, there's no weight in the head in a downward dog. Come back to centre, just find some stillness and breath in your downward dog. And then step forward to the front of the mat. Getting photobombed by every member of the family now. And then a forward fold. And breathe in. Come to a beautiful slight back bend, tall tree. Hands to heart center. We'll take that flow again. Again, we're going to go very slowly with it. Breathe in, raise those arms up above the head, and slowly, slowly, as you let the air seep out, come into a forward fold. Breathe in, come to a halfway lift, just hold it. And then take the hands to the floor, step back into that plank, and hold it. So if you do need to take more breaths, in each pose, that's absolutely fine. This is a slow flow. We're really doing a strength exercise. So lower very slowly to chaturanga. Turn the toes under, come up to upward dog. Hold it. Remember, you can come all the way to the floor and go to cobra. And then turn over those toes back to downward dog and hold it. If you don't want to do a chaturanga, or you're not ready for that, I do have a video for chaturanga, but if you don't want to, you can always lower all the way to the floor and do a cobra and then push back into your dog from there. And those of you that can do jump back, then you do that. Okay, step forward to the front of your mat, forward fold. Breathe in a beautiful slow nose breath, raise those hands high, take them over the head, and then bring the hands to heart center. Macy had lost a narwhal at this point. Breathe in, raise those hands above the head, and then swan dive with an out breath very slowly, squeezing the air out the lungs, come to a forward fold. Come to halfway lift. Breathe. And then bring the hands to the mat. Step back into plank and hold it. Find your nice Tadasana line, your straight line in your plank. Tip forward on those toes and chaturanga, or lower all the way to the floor into a cobra. If you're with me, upward dog and hold it. And then flip over those toes, back to downward dog, and just breathe in and out through the nose. We're going to change it up a little bit now, so raise that right leg high, three-legged dog. Obviously, this isn't even hips, by the way. We're not opening the hip out in this. If you can't reach your leg as high as mine, it doesn't matter. Just go to where you can. Step that foot between the toes, come into a low lunge. We worked on this with our yin pose the other day, so just hold this. Remember, we're not collapsing into those hands. Gaze straight ahead. Make sure the knees is over the toes, but not tracking all the way over. Straighten out that leg. We'll do a pyramid pose with the back heel turned up. And fold the head towards the knee and just breathe. The hips are closed and facing the front of the room at this point. Most of this practice will be with closed hips. Breathe in, bend back down. Come, bring that back knee to the floor, and we're going to do half split. So breathe in and then fold over that front knee with the back knee on the floor. This is half splits pose. For a bit of extra work, make sure that those front toes are turned backwards so you get right down into the ankle. And step back into your low lunge. Take the left knee off the mat. Gaze ahead. Step back into your three-legged dog. And then bring the foot back down to the floor. Downward dog. Come back to your breath. Find your position. Raise the left leg high. Hold it. And then slowly step it through between the hands. Come into a low lunge with the left knee forwards. Don't collapse into those hands, keeping a nice straight line of energy down the back. Gaze ahead. Straighten out that front leg and we'll do a pyramid pose with the back heel, the right heel turned up. And fold over that front knee. Keep breathing. Just using the hands for support. We're not collapsing into them. So nose towards your knee. And then bend that front knee. Bring the back knee, the right knee to the floor. Straighten out the left leg. Turn up the heel. And we'll take the half splits on this leg. So fold that knee. Fold the head towards the knee. Breathing in and out. Again, just using the hands for support, not taking all the weight. Turn that back foot under, come back to a low lunge. Breathe. Gaze ahead. And then step back to a three-legged dog. Left leg lifts. Hips are even. Back to your downward dog. Even weight through the hands. Spread those fingers so the weight's not going all the way through your wrists. And then either jump forward or walk forward to the front of your mat and forward fold. And just hold it. Raise up to standing, raise the arms above the head, take a big breath in and breathe out the hands to heart center. Okay, sun salutation B, so breathe in, chair pose, hold it. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, hold it. And step back into your plank, hold it. And tip over those fingers. And come down into chaturanga if that's in your practice. And flip over the toes, upward dog. Downward dog. Breathe. This is sun salutation B, so we're going to take the right leg high. We're in preparation for our warrior one, keeping the hips even. And then step the right foot between the hands. Turn down the back heel, toes turned up at 30. And then raise the hands up and come into a warrior one. Hips facing the front of the room, shoulders facing the front of the room, knitting the ribs, shoulders away from the ears, bend into that knee, even weight through both legs. Bring the hands back to the mat, step back, plank, hold it, find your position. If you're doing chaturanga, we'll tip over those fingers. Come down to chaturanga, grazing the ribs with the elbows. Upward dog. Hold it. Downward dog. Excellent. Come back to your breath. In and out through the nose. We're going to take that warrior one on the other side now. So bring the left leg high, three-legged dog, keeping the hips even. Hold it. Step the left leg through between the hands. Doesn't matter how many steps, by the way, it takes to get the hands there. Raise up into your warrior one. Gazing to the front of the room. Internally rotate the shoulders, keeping them away from the ears. knit the ribs in and stand up tall. Excellent. Bring the hands back down to the mat, frame the foot, step back into your plank, find your position. Then if you're doing chaturanga, just tip over those fingers, lower very slowly down, brushing the ribs with the elbows, upward dog, and then flip over those toes, back to a downward dog, and breathe. It's really good for strength building, this slow flow. Just really feel into the motion of each asana. Okay, hop forward or step forward to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Hold it. And then chair pose. Hold it. And then stand up tall, hands to heart center. Okay, we'll take Sun Salutation B with a variation this time. Breathe in, chair. Hold it. Breathe out, balanced or aeroplane chair. So come onto those toes, take the hands back, really pushing up for the triceps, keeping the weight into the bottom. Back to chair, hands above the head, and then fold forward. Come up to a halfway lift. Breathe in. Either jump back or you can step back into your plank. So bring the hands to the mat. Find your plank. And then tip over those fingers and chaturanga. Or lower all the way to the floor to do cobra. Take the head back if it's comfy. And then we're going to flip over those toes. Come back to your breathing in your downward dog. Remember, the heels are slightly turned out with a downward dog, so you can't see them through your feet, and that will give you the perfect hip position. Okay, take the right leg high, three-legged dog. Hold it. And then step through. We're going to come into our warrior one, so turn that back heel down. Raise the body up, raise up the arms, internally rotate the shoulders, gaze straight ahead. And then take the hands in Venus lock behind the back, open the shoulders out, take a slight back bend, take the head back if it's comfortable. And then as you breathe out, I want you to fold forward into humble warrior. So the head is going to come on and the shoulder is going to come onto the inside of the right knee. If you can't get down here, that's fine. Or if you can't do it with Venus lock, that's fine. You can take your hands to the mat. This is humble warrior. Come back up to standing. Take that back bend again. Breathe in. Keeping the hands in Venus lock. Raise the hands up to warrior one. Bring the hands back down to the mat. Step back into your plank. Find your position. Tip over those fingers, lower down to chaturanga, turn the toes under, and back into your downward dog. Just breathe in your dog. And we'll take those on the other side. So lift the left leg high, three-legged dog, keeping the hips even. Step the left foot between the hands and spin the back heel down. And come up into your warrior one, lifting up using your ab strength to find the pose. Hold it, internally rotate the shoulders, gaze straight ahead. Make sure the knee is over the foot but not tracking over the toes. Take the hands into Venus lock behind the back, open out the shoulders, open out the heart, take the head back if you're comfortable. We'll take a big breath in. And then as we breathe out, we're going to fold forward into humble warrior, taking the shoulders over the back. If you can't do this without not balanced, then bring the hands to the mat and just come into the humble warrior. So your shoulder is on the inside of your left knee. Head's working towards the floor. Take the shoulders back. Breathe in. Do a back bend. Raise the hands up high. Warrior one. And then step back into your plank. Find your position. Tip over those hands. Lower all the way to the floor. Take hold of the feet with the outside of the feet with the hands, and then raise everything off the mat. And we'll just breathe in this half bow pose. Using every major muscle group in the body. Just breathe and just really open up the shoulders. Try and get full extension in this pose. Lower everything back to the mat. I want you to come into a child's pose, wide-legged or with the knees together. Extend those arms out. Get that beautiful stretch. And a nice compression in the hips. Okay, we're going to come into rabbit pose for another inversion. I can't do this with my hair up, so I had to take my hair out. So we're going to go onto the crown of the head, and we're going to take hold of the feet, and we're going to raise the legs up. So the legs are at 90-degree angle to each other, and we come onto the crown of the head. So there's even weight on the crown of the head and the knees. It's a really beautiful, gentle way of even doing an inversion. If you've got any problems with or balance, this is a great one to use. Okay, now take those legs out the front. We're going to come into do some abdominals. So we're going to come into our boat pose. And we'll just hold it. So take your boat, raise the feet off the floor. Make sure you're on your sitting bones, hands straight ahead or behind the knees. Gaze ahead between the feet and just hold this boat. I hope you're enjoying being photobombed by a mermaid. It's not every day you see such an extraordinary sight. And then we're going to hold low boat. So keeping the shoulders and the head off the mat and the feet off the mat. Really pulling up through the abs. Just hold this low boat. Keep going. Keep breathing. Excellent. Bring the knees into the chest. Just have a rock from side to side. Counteract that pose. You're doing really, really well. Super, super well. Okay, take the right foot over the left knee. We're going to come into a reclined pigeon. So you can either hold behind the thigh or the shin. And we're just going to gently bring the knee in towards the chest to get a nice compression. Now take that right knee over to the left side, looking over the right shoulder, keeping the right shoulder pinned to the ground. Taking a beautiful twist in the side of the body. As ever, I do finish my practice every time with these twists, so you know that it's coming to the end. Okay, so take the left leg over the right. So the left foot is on the right knee, and either hold behind that thigh or on the shin. And just draw that knee into the chest. We're not lifting the shoulders too far off the mat, and we're not lifting the bottom off the mat. So the work is in the legs. Okay, rock those legs over to the right and look over the left shoulder. Taking the arms to T or goalpost and gluing that shoulder to the floor. Bring it back to centre. And then bring the nose to the knees and the knees to the nose. Just have a squeeze. Breathing into this compression. And then we'll take happy baby. So take hold of the feet if you can. And we'll straighten out the right leg. Keeping the left leg bent. If you can't hold the foot, that's fine. Just hold behind the ankle or the knee or the thigh. Just to where you can. Bend that leg and straighten out the left leg. And just hold it and breathe. If you can't hold onto the foot, you can hold behind the knee or the thigh or the ankle. Okay, now lie back onto the floor, open out the hands, and we're coming to Buddha Konasana, but reclined. So the soles and the heels are together. And we're getting a gentle hip opening, letting gravity do the work, and just breathe. Really feel into the sensations as you melt into the mat. Close the eyes and look at the work behind the eyes, the lights, and you can feel the sensations in the body as the energy starts to integrate. Take the feet long along the mat, take a stretch, wiggle out those toes, wiggle out the fingers, and then roll up to sitting. Meet me at the front of your mat. In easy pose or cross-leg pose or lotus or half lotus, whatever takes your fancy. Bring the hands together at heart center. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the divine light within you guide your way on. From my heart to yours, Sat Nam, Namaste, Waheguru. So that completes day 9. How are you getting on? Let me know. Tomorrow, guess what? It's time to up the ante with the shower. So I'm going to take it easy in terms of yoga. We're going to do a Kundalini Kriya that will get into the core and fire you up. It's relatively easy in terms of, there's no complicated asana or exercises in there, but we'll keep moving, lots of breath of fire. I'll get you fired up, ready for the cold shower. And then we're going to do a minute and I will get in there with you and I will talk you through it. So I'll see you on day 10. Have a lovely day, people.